Hello everyone, Shoot'emUp252 here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a special treat. I'm going to be doing my first cast today. It is going to be a live cast between the Diamond players Bryce and Flipluck, who are both members of TAW, as you can see by Flipluck's little clan tag he has on the front of his name there. Basically, TAW is just an SC2 team that I joined about a month and a half ago back. And basically, you just get on, you practice with people, you play in little mini tournaments like this occasionally, and this is the finals. In the bottom left corner, we have Bryce spawning as the purple Terran. He normally plays random, but apparently one of his friends, i.e. Koic, I think is his name, he plays Terran, and you guys may have heard of him, and he helps Bryce play Terran, so Bryce is going to be choosing Terran for this finals. In Game 1 on Shakuris Plateau. In the bottom right corner, we have Flipluck, who is a very good Protoss, Terran, and Zerg player. He used to play random, if I remember correctly, and his main race is Protoss, and for these finals he will be playing Protoss against Bryce. So to start, we have Flipluck throwing down his forward pylon by his ramp. Looks like he might be going for a wall-in, which is fairly unusual against Terran, because if they get Marauders and Marines on the ramp, they can pick off your gateways in relative safety, because you're going to have to fight your way through your own choke that you've created, which makes for a very, very bad terrain for your army. We have Bryce just throwing down his 10 depot. Looks like he's going to be building his racks with that SCV as well. I personally go for a little earlier scout just so I can know where my opponent is, because a lot of my TVP builds are very positionally based, which are, you know, it can be good and a bad thing, but it's also really just nice to scout early, in my opinion. So we have Bryce throwing down his pylon. Oh, we have a miss micro here by Flipluck, who's losing his scouting probe to the SCV. Here we have the killer SCV in question. He's going to be moving down to the bottom right corner to scout Flipluck. It'll be the first scout, lucky for Bryce here today. So we have Flipluck throwing down his second pylon in gas, which is fairly standard. He has a missed rally on his probes, though. He may have been a little shot, or a little thrown off by that losing of the probe. Meanwhile, we have Bryce, who's just kind of opening really standard. He's going the 10, 12, 13, 15 build, getting his second Marine out. And I'm kind of curious to see what he's going to be doing. Oh, he's throwing down his second depot now. I thought maybe he was going to be saving it for a second racks. Maybe going for a 2 racks expand, because he was saving up the 150 minerals. Most people don't know that, but you can actually throw down the second barracks before you get your first barracks, or before you get your second depot, I mean, and still be perfectly fine supply-wise, as long as you don't build the Marauder out of your first barracks. We see he's just going to keep making Marines, which suggests to me that he's going to be teching soon, and there's the factory. This is very, very standard teching play. Meanwhile, we have Bryce, who's thrown down an SCV and the expansion, just kind of wanting to know when Flipluck is going to be expanding, which is a very, very key timing, because if he sees that go down especially early, he knows he can put on some early aggression on the Protoss, maybe get some kills, lower his enemy's unit count, as Marines and Marauders are very effective in small numbers. But in this case, Bryce is just going to be throwing down a bunker, and he's going to be setting up to tech. It looks like he may be going for a starport, or maybe even a Thor push, because the fast bunker suggests a really hard tech from a player. We can see Flipluck, he's kind of scouting for SCVs, unfortunately not going to check behind his own mineral line. He's going to miss that. We can see Flipluck grabbing his second gateway, probably before his Robo, or maybe even a Stargate. It's not uncommon to see Protoss players get the second gateway first, although occasionally you will see a 1-gate Robo build. It is going to be a 2-gate Robo build. We can expect to see from Flipluck a nice little push, and then he's going to expand behind it, which is a very nice, safe way to expand. This type of build is really safe against a lot of Terran builds that are out there. We can see here we have a starport thrown down for Bryce, and his second gas just now coming up. So maybe we'll be seeing, since he is in the spectators, i.e. Koic, we may be seeing his build here today, and I do believe we will. that build is a 1-1-1 style or 1-1-2 style, where you get a fast Hellion drop, 3 Hellion drop into 2-port Banshee. It's really good for harass. It allows you to put a lot of pressure on the Protoss, keep him in his base, as well as get a really safe expansion later on, as well as get a lot of higher tech units like Banshees out, should you want to go down that path. I see a second bunker throwing down for Bryce. I don't know if this is a really good idea. I mean, his Hellion drop's going to be keeping Protoss and his... Oh, and we can see it. Fliplock did see that. Either way, it doesn't matter. The Hellions are going to be in the mineral line now. And they're going to get some nice little probe kills. Oh, and if they get... They may be able to get... Oh, so many probes going down here. Looks like 3, 8, 12 probe kills, everybody. That is a huge hit this early in the game to Flipluck's economy. This is really going to set him back. This is going to push back his attack timing because you can't support 2 gates and a robo producing with just this many workers, just the 18 he has now. He doesn't even have any in gas yet. He's going to be forced to chrono boost some probes, and now you can see Flipluck in a desperation measure is going to be throwing down an expansion. Looks like trying to end the harass too quickly and going for the medevac cost him a lot of probes, and we can see the Hellions are coming back in the mineral line again. And they're going to be just doing so much damage to this probe line, even more kills, and one of the Hellions looks like it is going to get away. So we can see Flipluck's economy even more devastated, down to 8 probes, so 10 more probe kills going down for Bryce. Meanwhile, he's going to be throwing down some Banshees, and it looks like that Flipluck will be prepared for this. He does have a good number of Stalkers and an Observer in his base. Production tab here, but we can see these Stalkers will be more than enough to repel these 2 Banshees. If Bryce gets a few more Banshees, he will be able to take on these Stalkers, because Banshees actually beat Stalkers for cost. But we can see here that Bryce is going to be throwing down some bio. He's getting his stim. He still has a bunker up in his main. He's expanded. He's throwing down 2 more barracks, and he's getting a tech lab on his factory, perhaps for some Thors, it looks like. Because he's getting that armory. This is going to be a very, very strong build. He's going to be going for a biomech air strategy, which is a lot of different tech paths at once, but considering how solid Banshees are, how solid Thors are, and just the all-around strength of the bio, it will be a very, very powerful build. You can see here 4 Banshees out now for Bryce. And we can see here Flipluck has actually thrown down a Stargate. He's getting Banshees. He threw that down right after the Hellion drop occurred. Basically, I think he predicted what was going to happen. He knows Iekoic is in the game. He knows that he's pretty sure Bryce is going to be following that build. Ooh, a nice little snipe for Bryce. And he's going to be getting out these Phoenix to hopefully pick off Banshees and maybe to pick off more dropships should Bryce be going that path. We can see here we have a reactor in the tech lab, so he's going to be getting 3 racks down. Hellion is getting repaired. This is a sign of a really good player, someone who takes care of all their units. He's going to be repairing these Banshees because they're all a little wounded, and Banshees are expensive but really strong units, so you really want to keep those alive. Let's take a look at the income tab here. We can see Bryce is hit by 17 Harvesters, more than double. He's on 2 bases now. All he has to do is ride out his economic advantage and make a really strong time in the push. Kind of curious to see what he's going to be going for. I imagine he's going to build up a little more bio, get a couple more medevacs, and then he's going to push out, put some pressure on his opponent, which would be a really strong play at this point because Flipluck is really weakened from that Hellion drop. Even though he may have suspected it was coming, he had units kind of in position to deal with it. It still did so much damage to those probes. Probes actually die really quickly to Hellions. We can see now Flipluck just now taking his expansion at the 12-minute mark. And Bryce is pushing out. He's got Stim, he's got a good number of Marines, he's got a lot of Banshees, and he has a Thor, which is going to be really, really strong against Flipluck's really tiny army. As we can see, it's 45 food to 100 food, so we can see here Bryce took a huge early lead from that Hellion drop. He's going to be macroing back at home out of his 6-unit producing structures. And now he's going to be pushing in. He does scan. I think it's probably to kill observers, because if you can kill the observers, actually he's going to have both of his Banshees. And Fublek is just going to GG out of this game, so let's just move on to game 2.